Hello and welcome back to Alice Talks Football and welcome back to another live Manchester United news and transfer news show. I'm really sorry if there is background noise. My fan is going off in the background because I don't know if you live in England or not, but it is so hot in England. It is absolutely crazy hot in England that honestly this heat right now is unbearable. So let me know what the fan noise is like in the background. If it's too loud, I can try and put it on a lower setting. I don't know if it's annoying or not, so I'm just going to try and talk loud and over it. We've got lots to talk about, and not too much on the transfer front, but more on the Ten Hag front. Ten Hag's done a couple interviews. Ten Hag's spoken about Frenkie de Jong. Ten Hag's spoken about the Sandra Martinez. Ten Hag's spoken about Eriksen. I will get into that later on, what he said about de Jong. He's spoken about maybe the possibility of McFred playing regularly next season. Are McFred going to play a lot next season? He's spoken about de Jong and everything that's going on with de Jong. Ten Hag's spoken and addressed that. He's spoken about the Sandra Martinez and Eriksen, and we will get into that later in the video, but I want to get into really what Ten Hag's had to say on Harry Maguire and really what Ten Hag said has to say on Cristiano Ronaldo. As it stands, Ronaldo will stay at United, and Ten Hag is very much acting like Ronaldo will stay at United, but he did say we won't start the season with Ronaldo. So we're not going to start the season with de Jong, and we're not going to start the season with Ronaldo. So the only first team player that's going to be starting next season is the Sandra Martinez, and the Sandra Martinez to Manchester United. This is the whole Harry Maguire situation. And Sandra Martinez is that starting left-foot centre-back. It's between Maguire, Varane, Lindelof and Bailly to compete for that next slot. Remember, Maguire was untouchable under Ollie because Maguire was Ollie's signing. Maguire was Ollie's most expensive, biggest signing. So he was absolutely untouchable under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Maguire... Martinez will be that untouchable centre-back under Erik ten Hag because he's Erik ten Hag's signing. Now, no one is untouchable under Erik ten Hag, and I think he's made that very clear. But there are big doubts over Maguire's future, which obviously Erik ten Hag has addressed. But guys, make sure you smash that like button if you're new, and do subscribe down below if you're new as well. Smash that like button anyway, subscribe if you're new. Let me know what the noise is like in the background. I hope it's not too bad, but I do want to get into the Maguire story in just a second, as you can see on my screen. I want to actually get into what Ten Hag said about Maguire. This is just a report about Maguire, but we know Harry Maguire. He's not a guaranteed starter under Erik ten Hag, and we all thought Harry's captain, Harry's going to start. It's come out, as you can see on my screen, that Erik ten Hag has told Harry Maguire that his decision to keep the England defender as Manchester United captain does not guarantee him a first-team place at United. Harry Maguire has reportedly been told by Erik ten Hag he will not play much unless he finds form. Just because he's captain does not mean he will play. And this is what's come out today, is that Ten Hag's told Maguire he's not going to play unless he earns it. Ten Hag's obviously not going to say to Maguire, you're not going to play, and he's not going to be all like, oh, you're not playing, Maguire, get out, or any of that. You know, he still trusts Maguire. He still trusts there is a player in Maguire, but it's been reported that Ten Hag will not play Maguire unless he deserves to play. And I'm going to get out the quotes from Ten Hag's interview where he spoke about Maguire and his plan for Maguire. But right now, ERIK Bailly is the centre-back on fire as well. The captain should be automatic selection. That's what you believe. But Erik ten Hag's told Harry he's kept him as captain. Reportedly, Ten Hag's kept Maguire as captain because he doesn't know the squad. He doesn't know the squad presence, and he doesn't know who to give Manchester United captain to, which is why Maguire's been kept as United captain. Yeah, and there's not many other candidates, but he's told Maguire, just because you're captain, you're not going to play unless you deserve it, unless you earn it. And actually, one of the things that Ten Hag actually said from his mouth, that's just the report on your screen, but Ten Hag said from his mouth about Maguire, he said that me keeping Maguire as captain will obviously give him confidence. Ten Hag obviously is hoping to get Maguire's confidence back. Ten Hag will hope to use and play Maguire, and Ten Hag has kept Maguire as captain because he says he believes it will give him confidence and that he will support Maguire. But he said, this is what Ten Hag said from his mouth about Harry Maguire. He says, in the end, he has to do it by himself and he has the qualities to do it. Ten Hag said from his mouth about Maguire being captain, will he start for United? Ten Hag was asked if Maguire's going to start, if he's going to be captain and all of that. And he said at the end of the day, I believe he has the quality to do that, but he has to do it by himself. Ten Hag publicly hinting that if Maguire wants to stay captain, he's got to be good. He's got to do it by himself. He's still captain, but that was Ten Hag not ruling out the fact that if he does not perform, he will be stripped of captaincy. And Ten Hag's, not going to say that publicly. He's not going to ruin his name, but it's very clear. If Maguire does not perform, if Maguire does not reach the level we need Maguire to get to, he will be stripped of captaincy. He's had a bit of a warning. He will not start. Martinez is that left-sided centre-back. Martinez is that guaranteed centre-back. Going off pre-season, you stick ERIK Bailly in. I don't think he will. This club seems to hate ERIK Bailly, whether it's Rangnick or Ollie or who, because he is a bit rash. But, right now, Varane is the best centre-back at United. He's injured. Bailly's the best centre-back on form, and Lindelof's the most consistent centre-back. But Maguire's the captain, and it's like Martinez and who? And Maguire, yeah, you're captain, but don't think you're safe. And Ten Hag's made that clear. Ten Hag was asked about Harry Maguire's captaincy, and he said he always sees the captaincy as an issue. I dissipate. I can't pronounce that word. What Ten Hag said about Maguire being captain, and I quite like this thing here, is he said, team building is important. I always talk about a group of leaders. The captain is really important, and he's happy with Maguire. And Ten Hag sort of, when he was addressing in his interview about Maguire being captain, the impression I got, he didn't say this, but the impression I got from Ten Hag about Maguire being captain was, he's a leader in the dressing room. I need a leader as captain. I don't know the players that well. There's not many candidates for captain. He is one of the bigger influences in there. I'm not going to change captaincy because it's going to cause a big issue if I change captaincy. Ronaldo, we don't know if he's going to stay, so there's no point giving captain to Ronaldo, who's the only real candidate after Maguire. Let's keep Maguire as captaincy, but let's tell Maguire just because he's captain doesn't mean he's guaranteed to start. Man United were not in for a centre-back. A lot of people don't realise this. United were not interested in signing a centre-back. Man United were not in for signing a centre-back. And then Ten Hag came in and he said, I want a centre-back. I want a left-footed centre-back, because he knows Maguire was not good at left-footed centre-back. He's going to keep Maguire as captain. He's going to put some faith and some confidence in Maguire, and he's going to go, Maguire, just like Martial, just like Rashford, just like McTominay, fresh start for you. If you perform, you play. If you perform, you stay captain. But just because you're captain doesn't mean you're going to start if you're poor. You're not going to get that free hit that you got under Ollie. I've brought in Martinez. He's my main man at centre-back. You're the captain. I'm going to put my faith in you and trust you as captain. I'm happy to keep you as captain. I believe in you, Maguire. But he's gone, no, if you're poor, you're out. I've chosen you as captain because you're a leader. Well, are you a leader? But he's a more influence in the dressing room. But you're out. And I think that's the right thing to do. I think that's the right approach. And I'm very, very happy that he's done that as well. Ronaldo to stay at Manchester United. I will get into that in just a second, but we do have a super chat somewhere. Let me go and get this one. Thank you very much, Vincent, for the super chat. Always appreciated. In Holland, we do not put much value on being captain. It's more important that everyone shows leadership by performing on the pitch. And that's a very good super chat. Really appreciate the super chat there. And I've heard that before as well. At the end of the day, captaincy isn't that important. It's who wears the armband. And Maguire is captain, and he was a crap captain last season. But if you've got lots of leaders on the pitch and you've got players that respond to the manager's instructions, act maturely and work well, then you're fine. It's not always the best player as the captain. I think having a good captain helps. But if you've got multiple leaders on the pitch and people with good work rate and people with good attitude, you're okay. Now, actually, Erik Ten Hag sort of spoke about Lisandro Martinez coming to Manchester United. And he said, one thing about Lisandro Martinez is he's a bit of a leader. He's a strong character and all of that as well. And I think, we don't have many strong characters. I mean, look, we have strong egos. But, United are having a severe lack of strong characters on the pitch. And whether you like it or not, Maguire is one of the bigger presence in the dressing room. Do I think he's a strong character? No, because he said in an interview, if I'd have been that bad, I wouldn't be playing week in, week out. And then he says 2 months later, yeah, it was a disappointing season for me. So no, I don't think Maguire is a mentality monster and all of that. And I don't think there are many at United. I think Ronaldo is the only mentality monster at United. I think Scott McTominay has a good attitude. The question is he good enough? I think Bruno, if he gets over himself, he loses his cool too quick, but he has a decent mentality. And I think De Gea does, and I think fucking Phil Jones does. But again, he's not good enough. There's not many players with that mentality at United, and I think Erik Ten Hag knows that. I think that's one of the reasons that Maguire is still captain. But also, the way he's spoken about Lisandro Martinez is very, very positive as well. Erik Ten Hag said on Lisandro Martinez that when he analysed Manchester United last year, they were quite vulnerable in the left part of defence. He is left-footed, and that is an advantage in possession and also defending. He also spoke about how Lisandro Martinez was sort of a butcher, a warrior. He gets stuck in. He's not too rash, which is something else that we might lack. And, there are concerns over Harry Maguire's future at Manchester United, and it seems that Harry Maguire will not be a guaranteed starter for Manchester United. And obviously, one of the big things that Ten Hag has said, and I'm going to read this out now. This is Ten Hag. This is what Ten Hag said about Lisandro Martinez to United. Okay, this is what he came out and said. He said he analysed Manchester United last year, and he said when analysing United last year, they were very vulnerable on the left side of the defence. Okay, Ten Hag said publicly about Lisandro Martinez. He's happy he's got Martinez because we were vulnerable on the left side of the defence. Who played on the left side of defence for Man United last season? Tyrell Malacia and, of course, Harry Maguire. Malacia and Maguire were the left-sided centre-backs for Manchester United last season. Not Tyrell, no. What am I saying? Luke Shaw and Harry Maguire. Luke Shaw and Harry Maguire were the left side of the Man United defence last season. Luke Shaw and Harry Maguire. Who have we just signed? A left-back and a left-sided centre-back. Ten Hag was not happy with Luke Shaw and Maguire last season, and that is why Ten Hag said to Maguire, if you're poor, you don't play. Just because you're captain doesn't mean you play. Ten Hag's gone out of his way to get a left-back and a left-sided centre-back that was not on United's list of priorities, remember. United's list of priorities was striker and DM. Ten Hag's gone and got a left-back and a left-sided centre-back and said publicly he's glad he got Lisandro Martinez because the left side of United's defence was very, very vulnerable last season. Now, I think that's a little bit of a shot at Maguire. He's also said Maguire's got to prove it himself. It's also been said that Ten Hag has said to Maguire, if you're not good enough, you won't play. So, people are saying, oh, but Harry Maguire's Man United captain. That means Maguire's going to start week in, week out. Oh, no, Alice, Maguire's going to play. Maguire's going to play. Maguire's going to play, Alice. Maguire is not a guaranteed starter for Manchester United, not at all as well. Erik ten Hag is missing that big hole in the middle last term as well. Our mids did not press or track runners, and we 100%. Erik ten Hag made it clear to United, okay? We know from Laurie Whitwell, we know from reports, and we know from things Ten Hag has said. Ten Hag came to United and he said, I want a right winger, I want two midfielders, and I want a left-sided centre-back. And Ten Hag's got his left-sided centre-back. I believe he will get his midfielder in Jong, but he also wanted Antony, who I don't think he will get, but I do think we'll go for an attacker. We're also in for a right-back, which I will talk about in a minute. But obviously, the fact that Ten Hag, when he's talking about Lisandro Martinez, is saying one of the reasons I got Lisandro Martinez is because the left side of United's defence was weak. It says it all. A lot of fans are going, oh, Luke Shaw, Maguire, McFred, it's going to be the same team that played last season. Ten Hag is going to give everyone a fresh start. Ten Hag is going to play everyone. But he's not going to go, yeah, Maguire, you're 80 million, you're captain, you start week in, week out. He said to Maguire, just because you're captain doesn't mean you start. He's made it pretty clear that it seems that Lisandro Martinez is going to be that left-sided centre-back. I mean, Ten Hag's literally said about the signing of Lisandro Martinez, he is left-footed, and that is an advantage in possession, but also in defending. Ten Hag's saying the fact that he's got a left-footed centre-back, that's an advantage in possession, but defending. I mean, Ten Hag's basically said, Lisandro Martinez, left-sided centre-back, he's going to play on the left side of defence. That was crap at United last season, bish, bash, bosh. Now it's between Maguire, by Varane and Lindelof to fight it out for the right side of the defence. I've got Tyrell Malacia in as healthy competition for Luke Shaw because he was poor last season. Now I need to address that midfield. And we obviously know Ten Hag wants a midfield, and we will talk about the potential for it being McFred next season. And look, we don't want to see McFred next season. No one wants to see McFred next season, but there is obviously potential that McFred will be the United midfield next season. And I will get into the Frankie de Jong quotes in just a second. But guys, please do hit that like button, and of course subscribe down below to Alice Talks Football if you're new. If you want to stay up to date with all the latest Manchester United news, transfer news, updates and more, make sure you click that subscribe button, and of course smash that like button. We've got over 400 people watching. It costs nothing to hit that like button, so it's absolutely free. Can we go for 400 likes? If the same players start from last season, so what? Just watch how different some of them will be under Ten Hag. A very, very good comment here from Nick. I mean, look, it's only pre-season. Look at Sancho and look at Martial. 2 pre-season games. Look at Sancho and look at Martial. Where was that last season? De Gea, 1 game. He's coming off his line. He's distributing. Bruno, not doing rash hero balls. Bruno, not Ten Hag. Bruno, De Gea, Sancho and Martial, especially Sancho and Martial. 1 game, 2 games, already playing a lot better. I thought Delot against Liverpool, Delot against Melbourne, very, very good. I know Maguire was at fault for the goal, but I did see an improvement in general in the defence. I thought Scott McTominay grew into the game, but I also look at players like Sedan Iqbal and Charlie Savage, who are playing Ten Hag's way. We've got a lot of players that are going to be very different under Ten Hag, and we've got a lot of players that Ten Hag could develop. Sedan Iqbal was caught Ten Hag's eye. A month ago, no one was talking about Sedan Iqbal. We knew who he was, but we weren't talking about him. A month ago, if you go back to my live streams, I was going, Mejbri, Garner, Garnacho. Mejbri, Garner, Garnacho. That's who we spoke about. No one mentioned Sedan Iqbal. It's gone on pre-season tour. It came out before the games that Ten Hag had taken a liking to Sedan Iqbal. He's now rolling up on pre-season tour. It's frustrating that we're probably going to go into next season with maybe Martinez as the only new starter right at the beginning, unless we can get De Jong in time, which I don't think we will. But we've also got to remember Rashford, Maguire, Shaw, Bruno, Martial, Sancho. They've all been good for United in the past. Even Maguire, people like to forget this. People do like to forget this about Harry Maguire. He was god awful last season. Maguire was good for England and he was good for United in his first year and a half, okay? People like to forget that about Maguire, but Maguire's had a good year for United in the past. Luke Shaw's had a good season with United in the past. We know what Rashford could do, we know what Sancho can do, we know what Martial can do, we know what Bruno can do. If all those players find form, they are more than capable of getting United to top four. They got us to third, they got us to second under a coach like Ollie. They're more than capable of getting us to top four under a coach like Ten Hag, who is better than Ollie. So I think Nick makes a good point. I'm frustrated that we're probably going to go into next season with maybe Martinez there to begin with, and we're not going to finalise stuff, and we're not going to have a lot of players till the end of August, which gives us a disadvantage. But we have to also look at it the mindset of it's a fresh start for so many Manchester United players. So it's a big change for United players. Alice, if McFred is our starting midfield next season, forget about top four, be lucky to finish in the top 8. And I will say, I'm going to contradict myself. I do agree with this comment. I don't think McFred are good enough. I think the fact that Sedan Iqbal and Charlie Savage are coming on pre-season and already slightly showing up McFred, I don't think McFred are good enough in the slightest. Okay, I don't. But I do think if there's a manager that's going to get the best out of them, it's Ten Hag. I think the fact, and we know this from Laurie Whitwell, that Ten Hag's priority was 2 midfielders, not 1, shows that he doesn't rate McFred. I think the fact that United didn't want to sign a centre-back, Ten Hag made us push for Lisandro Martinez, and we got him. Man United didn't want to sign a left-back, Ten Hag made them push for Tyrell Malacia, and we got him. Man United were looking at 1 midfielder, Ten Hag wants 2 midfielders, that will be De Jong and Eriksen. Ten Hag was pushing for that. Ten Hag wanted a left-back and a left-sided centre-back because he watched us last season and literally publicly said we were vulnerable in the left side of defence last season. But Ten Hag's made it obvious he wants a midfielder. I don't think Ten Hag's plan is McFred, and I don't think Ten Hag's going to do an Ollie and just go McFred till I die, because that is not Ten Hag's plan. He wants a midfielder, but he won't get a midfielder until probably August, so we will have to start with McFred. But I believe Ten Hag's the type of manager to go, I'm going to drop Eriksen deeper, I'm going to drop Donny deeper, I'm going to give Sedan Iqbal a chance, because I think Ten Hag will get the best out of McFred. But if they are the McFred that we know McFred are, then, we cannot really get top 4 with them in the pivot. There's a good player on Fred. There could be a good player on McTominay if he plays in maybe a more advanced role, but they can't play together. And I even think the 2 games under Ten Hag, they were still the weak point. Charlie Savage and Sedan Iqbal showed them up. It is a fresh start. They could be completely different players under Ten Hag, but it's very obvious Ten Hag's plan isn't McFred. I think people are worried Ten Hag's going to play the same lineup as Ollie played. We've got Martinez, we've got Malacia. We want to get a midfielder desperately. I mean, the amount of effort we're putting into Frenkie de Jong, that shows you how much he rates our midfield. Not that much. The fact that he's so desperate for de Jong and he forced United to get Martinez when we weren't looking at centre-back, that's because he doesn't want to play the same underperforming players we played last season as well. Shaw needs to recover properly from his injury. I agree. Shaw is very injury prone, and that's why I'm really glad I got Tyrell Malacia, because 1, it's healthy competition, and 2, if Shaw gets injured, there's a good young player we can develop. I think Tellers isn't good enough for United. We saw clearly Tellers is 29. He's not good enough for United. He's never looked good for United, if I'm being honest. But I think Malacia, however you say his name, could be good competition as well. Flex says that Sedan is like a new signing. If we get a right back in De Jong and get rid of Jones and Tuanzebe, I'm happy with that. I agree. I think we need a right back. I think we need De Jong, but I also think we need to look at another attacker. If Ronaldo stays, we can get away without signing another attacker, because you've got Ronaldo and Martial for striker, you've got Sancho and Rashford for left wing, and you've also got Sancho, Palestri, Ahmad, Elanga, and the multiple players that could actually play on the right, even if it's their not strongest position. If we keep Ronaldo, I think we can get away with not signing an attacker. But if we lose Ronaldo, striker has to be a priority, because I do not want to see Rashford playing up front if Martial gets injured. Rashford, Martial, and Sancho all picked up frequent injuries. Now, I will say this now. I think some of Manchester United's injuries last season were slightly suspicious. I think we can all admit that. I think the timing of injuries, I think if we were in the Champions League final, there wouldn't have been as many injuries as there was last season. But you're absolutely right. We need to get rid of Tuanzebe and Jones. I think we should probably get rid of Wan-Bissaka, get someone in like Denzel Dumfries, but I don't think we'll be getting Dumfries. I think we'll be getting Class from League 1. But I will get into that in just a second. We need to get a right back, we need to get De Jong, and I think we need to get an attacker. I do think we need a midfielder on top of De Jong, and I would like Sangare or Lemar, but I've kind of accepted that isn't going to happen and that United are more focused on attack. Ten Hag's last press conference, he did say he wants midfield and attack reinforcements. Ten Hag's got his defensive reinforcements. He wants his midfield and attacking reinforcements, but he also does want to right back. But he has put a lot of faith in Diego Dalot, and potentially with Ethan Laird and Wan-Bissaka as options, he could maybe get away with one season as those as the right back, because I think maybe if you lose Ronaldo, I still think striker is a bigger priority than right back. But I want to get into the news because Erik ten Hag's spoken about Ronaldo, his future at Manchester United, and what Erik ten Hag's had to say about Ronaldo, but also a little bit on other news as well. But keep smashing that like button, guys. Let's go for 400 likes. It costs nothing to hit that like button, so please do hit that like button as well. Alice could talk for England. She absolutely could. And getting De Jong is key for us and key for everything. That's it. And you're spot on. De Jong is key to the plan, and we know that. If we don't get De Jong, this transfer window is a bust. If we do get De Jong, this transfer window is a pass. Erik ten Hag has spoken about De Jong. I've always said this, guys, and I'm not going to talk about Frenkie De Jong for too long because it's absolutely doing all of our head-ins. De Jong has privately told Ten Hag in United he wants to join. De Jong's stance publicly is that he's refusing to leave because that's his best chance of getting his 70 million in wages he's owed. Barcelona will have to sell De Jong. De Jong's told United he's open to joining. De Jong's refusing to leave until he gets his money. That is the situation on Frenkie De Jong. United wouldn't negotiate for Frenkie De Jong for 10 weeks if they didn't believe they're going to sign him. United, as soon as they found out Jurriën Timber had changed his mind, they went for Lisandro Martinez. If we start going for another midfielder, then be worried about De Jong. But we are still in for De Jong because there's private indications from Frenkie De Jong that he's absolutely happy to come and work under Ten Hag. Cristiano Ronaldo, is he going to Atletico Madrid? What is going on with Cristiano? What has been said? So Fabrizio Romano, obviously he's on the Athletic, has spoken about some things Erik ten Hag said about Ronaldo. Erik ten Hag said today in his press conference regarding Cristiano Ronaldo, he said, Cristiano Ronaldo is not for sale. I've planned with him and I'm looking forward to working with him. Ten Hag said, Ronaldo's not for sale. He's planned the season with Ronaldo. He's looking forward to working with him. Ronaldo said the Lisbon rumours were fake, but Ronaldo never said the Chelsea or Bayern rumours were fake, so we know that they're true. There are Atletico Madrid rumours. I think that's George Mendes trying to maneuver something to maybe get Real Madrid to worry. I don't know. Erik ten Hag spoke about Ronaldo and said, and was asked about the Ronaldo situation and the speculation, and Erik ten Hag said literally said this about Ronaldo. This is all we need to know. Okay, this is what ten Hag said about Ronaldo. He said that Erik ten Hag said about Ronaldo that he is well informed that he has an option of another year. He said that Ronaldo could stay beyond the year at United, of course. He said he's signed here for 3 years, but in football, that's short term as well. Erik ten Hag said regarding Cristiano Ronaldo, is he capable of playing Erik ten Hag's system or that? Ten Hag said that he thinks Cristiano Ronaldo is capable of pressing. In his career, he's shown everything. Erik ten Hag said, I've set my demand. We want players to play a certain way, and a top player like Ronaldo can contribute to that. He's an absolutely top player in our squad, and he is in my plans for next season. He did say Ronaldo could miss the start of the season, but he is in training. He said that Ronaldo's a top professional and he believes he will be fit, but he doesn't think he will be playing at the start of the season. So Erik ten Hag saying Ronaldo's not for sale. He's playing with Ronaldo and completely praising Ronaldo. We know that Erik ten Hag and Ronaldo have had very good conversations. We don't know what's happening with Ronaldo. I think, the Ronaldo situation, it can just turn like that. It's Ronaldo, it's George Mendes. But the way Ten Hag's spoken about Ronaldo, he's in the plan. However, United are thinking of triggering a 1-year contract extension called Cristiano Ronaldo. And I think United could do that to get more money for him. Now, there's two reasons we're thinking, and James Ducker said United are considering triggering Ronaldo's contract extension. There's two reasons we could be triggering Ronaldo's contract extension. One, there's a buyer, but if we trigger his contract extension, he's got 2 years left and not one, which increases his value, so we'd get more money for him, which is a commercial move, which is what Manchester United are proven to do. But another reason could be maybe he's staying, so we don't want him to be a free agent next season. We want to get some money from next season when he does stay. So maybe United are triggering a contract extension in Ronaldo's contract. And I do think, although it would be commercial both ways, I do think if we trigger that contract extension, I do think that he could stay for another year as well. I will give you all the latest on Ronaldo to United. If Ronaldo is set to stay, if Ronaldo is set to leave Manchester United, do not worry, guys. I will keep you updated on that. So do make sure you subscribe to the channel if you do want to stay up to date on all the latest Manchester United news, transfer news, updates and more. If you want the latest on Ronaldo to United, make sure you subscribe. We're on the road to 50,000 subscribers, guys. We're actually 54 subscribers away from 42k. I don't think we'll hit that by the end of the live stream, but if everybody watching that's new could subscribe and smash that like button so the video gets out there, we're 52 subscribers away from 42k. So that would be really, really appreciated if you could as well. It doesn't matter which club, he will not play Europa League, of course. I don't think he will go to Napoli, but it is obviously potential as well. Maguire is still captain, but that doesn't mean he's going to play. And Andrew says he doesn't see Ronaldo going to Atletico. It's sad to say, but Real was his dream club, but he's less likely to destroy that legacy, potentially, yes. And as Nick says, Ronaldo is training in Portugal at Sporting Lisbon's ground alone, as Sheffield United are training there as well. All good points there from Nick as well. Goal scored by Goncalo Guedes going on as well. Flex says that we shouldn't trigger that extension. That is 48 million we could use on a proper striker for next season. What's your thoughts on that? Let me know in the chat. Would you trigger Ronaldo's extension or not? I want to get into some quotes about what Erik ten Hag has said about United, but I actually want to talk about what Erik ten Hag said specifically about Frenkie de Jong. And I said, look, we won't talk about Frenkie de Jong much. We won't. But I do want to get into specifically Ten Hag speaking about de Jong. And then I do want to get into the right back that United could be signing as well. So Frenkie de Jong, Frenkie fucking de Jong, all right? We're fed up of it, but Ten Hag's been asked about it. And this is the first time Ten Hag's properly spoken about Frenkie de Jong. You know, Ten Hag was asked about how key is de Jong in terms of a signing for his team. And Ten Hag's obviously not going to say he's the key, we're fucked without him, because that puts us in a bad stance. He's obviously going to be positive. Ten Hag said regarding Frenkie de Jong to United that he thinks we already have good midfield players and that he's happy with Eriksen. But he said the type of player you've described, as in Frenkie de Jong, I think is necessary for United. We have players to fill that position, and we will do if we cannot find the right player. So Ten Hag said regarding de Jong to United, we don't have a player like de Jong, and he thinks a player like de Jong would be so important to United. But if he can't get de Jong, he's not going to go and get another player for the sake of it. He will use what he has to fill that position until he can get what he wants. Ten Hag's made it very clear in the last few days with Martinez, with a lot of players, if he can't get the player he wants, he'd rather go without. There's no point getting the player in that's not going to suit your system. And that's something United have done a lot in the past. We haven't got the player Ollie wanted, so we go, okay, Ollie, have Facundo Pellistri, have Amad Diallo, have Donny van der Beek, even though you wanted Sancho, even though you wanted Grealish, even though you wanted Bellingham. Donny, Amad and Pellistri all went out on loan and were never used by Ollie. 90 million spent, I mean, we could have got a DM under Ollie because the board didn't get who Ollie wanted, so they got him someone else. Ten Hag's made it very clear, if he doesn't get what he wants, he'd rather stick with what we have. Because he said, there's no point getting players that I don't want. And Ten Hag's obviously said he wants de Jong. He's the type of player we don't have at the club. But he said, if we don't get de Jong, I will stick with what I have. You know, kind of saying there's no alternatives. Ten Hag also said, we are looking for a player who can play in the holding midfield position, but we have to have the right one. Ten Hag's obviously happy with Eriksen. He's attacking with the attacking side of midfield, but he said, we are looking for a player who can play in the holding midfield position. That's come out of Ten Hag's mouth. Ten Hag has said publicly in a press conference, he is looking for a holding midfielder. So if you sit here and you're panicking that McFred are playing the pre-season games, do not panic. Ten Hag, with his own mouth, has come out publicly and said Manchester United are looking for a player that can play in the holding midfield position, but it's got to be the right player. You know, we know from Laurie Whitwell, we know from reliable journalists, Ten Hag wants a holding midfielder, but Ten Hag said with his mouth, he's looking for a player that can play in the holding midfield position. And I think, you know, it says it all. He's obviously very confident we'll get de Jong. Man United remain very confident that they will get Frenkie de Jong. And Ten Hag's made it publicly clear he wants a holding midfielder. So, again, a lot of people freaking out saying, oh my God, we're going to go into next season with Maguire and McFred and it's going to be awful again. And Ten Hag's going to be like Ollie and play Maguire and McFred next season. And I don't know why people are even thinking that Ten Hag's the next Ollie reincarnated and he's going to play with Maguire and McFred, because we just signed Sandro Martinez, who United weren't in for. Ten Hag wanted a Ten Hag signing. He's just said he wants a holding midfielder. He doesn't rate McFred. He doesn't rate Maguire. He wants to get the best out of them. He believes there's a player in them and he will let them try and prove themselves. But the fact that he wants a left-sided centre-back and he got one, the fact that he wants de Jong, the fact that he said he wants a holding midfielder, it's very obvious his plans at Maguire and McFred. And for all the people worrying about that, do not. Like, just don't. It doesn't. Like, they're not in the plans. Very obvious. Very obvious. What I like, though, is that Ten Hag did literally say he felt that the Man United midfield and the left side of defence was vulnerable last season. Us fans, what have we been saying for the last year? The left side of the defence, yeah, and the midfield were very vulnerable last season. And that's what Erik ten Hag said. He wants a midfielder and he wants a left foot centre back. So I'm not worried that just because Maguire's captain is going to be the same and play week in, week out, even though he's crap. I'm not worried that because McFred are playing in pre-season that they're going to be our Ten Hag's new duo. They're not. They're not. And I can confidently say that as well. Please do hit that like button if you have not already. And of course, subscribe down below to Alice Talks Football if you're new. Got lots and lots of news to get into, so make sure you stay tuned as well. Erik ten Hag was just playing safe with his public words. We're not City or Liverpool squads. We can just make do with what we have. Exactly. That is a good point to raise there. We're on 205 likes. Let's go for 300 likes by the end of the video. It absolutely costs nothing to hit that like button, so please do as well. Someone says stop talking about De Jong. It's been 10 weeks. He doesn't want to be here. He does. It's not that he doesn't want to be here. He wants to get his money from Barcelona. But honestly, I do not want to talk about De Jong. I mean, look, smash that like button if you were fed up with Frenkie De Jong. Honestly, smash that like button. If Ronaldo left to join Atletico, would we see if we could get João Felix or Sal Niguez in that deal? João Felix, maybe. I don't think United are in for João Felix. I think he's that type of player. If we had an interest in João Felix, we'd be linked to him all over the place because it's going to generate clicks. I don't think he is a target. I don't think we're in for João Felix. Potentially, if we lost Ronaldo, maybe. I don't know. I think João Felix to United is possible, but I think if he was a target, we'd know about it by now. I think he's one of those players where he's so publicly known that if we were really in for him, we'd know about it by now. We've been linked more to Dybala, who Ten Hag was never in for, who's just signed for Roma, than we were to someone like João Felix. So I don't think United will get João Felix. Maybe I do think one of the reasons, though, that we haven't been strongly linked to many strikers is because we don't know what's going on with Ronaldo. I actually think Ten Hag is sitting there going, I don't know if Ronaldo's going to stay or go. I actually think no one knows what's going to happen with Ronaldo because Chelsea and Bayern have rejected Ronaldo, but it's Ronaldo. They could easily change their mind. Ronaldo wants to play European football. There will probably be a club that Ronaldo can maneuver his way into. It's a weird situation with Cristiano Ronaldo because I do not know if he's going to stay or go. And I don't think Ten Hag does. And I don't think United too. And I think United can't really plan until they know what's going on with Ronaldo, which is the frustrating thing about this saga. Because I think maybe if we lose Ronaldo, João Felix becomes a target because we're not going to get Antony. I tell you this now, I'll be absolutely shocked if we get Antony. I've been told we've got a gentleman's agreement with Ajax. If we get Martinez, we cannot get anyone else this summer from Ajax, and we've been priced out of Antony. Maybe we go for a João Felix. I think he is out of the budget. I'd like a Victor Osimhen, but Napoli will price out of the budget. Maybe we do go for someone like Depay. Barcelona need a bit more money. I do think if Ronaldo goes, we will get an attacker in, but I don't think United have actually know what's going on with Ronaldo, and I think that's why we haven't been linked too much to attackers, which it puts us at a little bit of a disadvantage as well. We need another 9, even if Ronaldo stays, rotation option. I think we can make do with Ronaldo and Martial, but I think considering last season we had Greenwood, Cavani, Ronaldo, Martial, and look at what we've got now, we're definitely lacking in that department. But I do think we need a number 9. But I think if Ronaldo stays, we can get away with it as well. I think you make a very good point there as well. Alice, get some water. I will. Been reports today that Ajax are about to get, I'm not going to try and say that name or something, and will be a replacement for Antony. That could be coming to United. I did see that, but I don't think Antony is going to happen. Honestly, guys, I'd be very shocked if we got Antony as well. Ronaldo's worth like 20 million in the market. João Felix, they want 100 million. I don't see. Yeah, very good point there as well. I don't understand the Felix hype. He's been expensive flop at Athletic. I think João Felix is a good player. He's technically gifted, but João Felix reminds me of Phil Foden. I think they're overrated. I think they're good players. I think because they look good on the ball and they've got that kind of flair and they're young and they're fancy, they get a lot more hype than they are. I do think they have. You see João Felix have 1 or 2 really good games, you're like baller. You see Phil Foden have 1 or 2 really good games, you're like baller. But actually, I think because they're young and because they look good, they are massively overrated. And I do always say, I've always thought João Felix was a little bit overrated. Would I take him at United? Yes. Do I actually think he's worth anywhere near the money we'd have to pay for him? No. João Felix got 8 goals in the league last season and 4 assists. I get that he is playing in a negative defensive athletic system, but I don't think, he's all that. 9 goals, 6 assists last season in 33 games. Okay stats, but, it's not, I just think he's a bit overrated, isn't he, João Felix? That's just my opinion, but each to their own. Very weird. Ten Hag still hasn't spoken to Ronaldo and doesn't know if he'll back for pre-season. Well, Ten Hag has spoken to Ronaldo. We know that Ten Hag has spoken to Ronaldo and all of that. But Ten Hag probably doesn't know if Ronaldo's going to come back or not. He's spoken to Ronaldo. Ten Hag obviously likes Ronaldo. Ronaldo's in his plans, but Ten Hag has had conversations with Ronaldo to try and convince him to stay, but Ten Hag doesn't know what's going to go on. Like, Ten Hag, you know, doesn't know what's going to go on with Ronaldo, and I don't think anyone at United do. And I think that it's annoying because I think it's very bad for our planning. I think it puts us in a negative position when it comes to planning and all of that, which I don't like, because if you lose Ronaldo, you desperately need a striker. Desperately, that Martial gets injured, Rashford cannot play striker. No one else at United can play striker other than Martial. Elanga and Rashford just cannot do it. Martial can, and people still think Martial's better on the wing, and maybe Martial was a winger, but 100% as well. You can't have 2 nines. What if one gets injured? Exactly. You realistically need 3 nines. Man City have bid for Saka. Who's reporting that Man City are in for Saka? Because that will be an interesting transfer if it happens as well. And Lens have rejected a bid for Klaus from Marseille, and they won't up the offer. The ball's in United's court. Maybe, yeah. So basically, we're going in for this right back called Klaus. He's 29. He plays for Lens. I know fuck all about him. I couldn't tell you if he's good. I couldn't tell you if he's bad. But United obviously are in for a right back from Lens called Klaus, Santa Claus, whatever you want to call him, and all of that as well. Let me try and find the news. This is the story. This is the news. Manchester United are interested in Jonathan Klaus, and the ball is in their court over a deal here. That was handy as well. I don't know what's going to happen. I honestly, I couldn't tell you what's going to happen with this. I don't know the player. Like, I can't tell if I want him or I don't want him. If Ten Hag wants him, fine. If he doesn't, don't get him. That's how I feel. Guys, please do click that subscribe button if you're not subscribed to my channel. We are on the road to 42,000 subscribers. We are 51 subscribers away from 42k. So it costs absolutely nothing to subscribe. So if you're not subscribed, please do subscribe to the channel as well. Share the video, like the video, all of that. If you want to stay up to date with all the latest Manchester United news, transfer news, updates, and more, keep smashing that like button. Of course, subscribe down below to Alice Talks Football on the road to 42k as well. And let me know your thoughts in the comments. We've been talking, if you've just joined the live stream, we've been talking about some comments on Harry Maguire, and that Ten Hag's reportedly said to Harry Maguire, just because he's Manchester United captain doesn't guarantee him a starting place in United next year, and he's got to fight for his place. We obviously know that Ten Hag's come out and said publicly that, you know, the Manchester United were very vulnerable on the left side of defence last season, which is obviously where Harry Maguire played, which would probably show that Ten Hag isn't, you know, maybe the biggest rater of Harry Maguire either. You know, it doesn't seem that Maguire's massive in his plans, but the fact he's gone for the Sandro Martinez, which I obviously think is quite interesting. Ronaldo isn't going on the tour, and Ten Hag revealed today that he doesn't know if Ronaldo will be back for pre-season. No one knows what's going on with Ronaldo. 29-year-old right back from Lens. That does not sound encouraging at all. Exactly, Andrew. I don't know how I feel about it as well. Could Ronaldo link up with the games in Norway and Old Trafford? I'd like to see Ronaldo for the Atletico Madrid and Rayo Vallecano games, and I'd be very concerned and disappointed if he's not there. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's family issues. Ronaldo is a professional. I don't think he's the type of guy to just refuse to go on pre-season tour and train with us all season. I think there's probably something going on, but I'd be disappointed if Ronaldo is still not here for the Rayo Vallecano game or obviously the Atletico Madrid game. We've also got to remember that the Atletico Madrid and Rayo Vallecano game are both the day after each other. So I look at it and go, well, we've got to have 2 different squads to play 90 minutes. We need to make 2 different teams for those 2 games. So we are going to need depth, and we are going to need numbers, because the players that played versus Atletico Madrid will not play the next day versus Rayo Vallecano. Those 2 pre-season games are 1 day apart. I think Ericsson will be there. I think Martinez will be there, and I'd really like to see Ronaldo there, but I cannot tell you. And Ten Hag cannot tell you. No one can tell you. I'd like to see fucking De Jong there, but let's be real. De Jong ain't going to be on pre-season tour. I still believe we'll get De Jong, but I did promise you I won't talk about De Jong a lot, and I have lots of reasons to believe we'll get De Jong, but I don't think he's going to be involved heavily on the pre-season tour. So I also want to get into some other stories about and around. Okay, Ten Hag has done obviously an interview today, a press conference, a very, very lovely interview. And Ten Hag said this, and I've actually underlined this in my notes because this is a really big thing Ten Hag has said. He said, I will tell every Manchester United player what I expect from them. I have high expectations because you are here, you play for United, you have to show it on the pitch. That's what I want. That is Ten Hag's mentality. That is what these players need. They're kick up the fucking ass. But I tell you that now, I will tell every Manchester United player what I expect from him. I have high expectations because you are here and you play for United and you have to show that on the pitch. That's what I want. Ten Hag making it very clear to United players, just maybe under Ollie, if you were one of Ollie's favourites, you were going to play week in, week out. Some of these United players knew because they were Ollie's boy. They were Ollie's boy. You know, they were going to play no matter how crap they are. Ten Hag's like, you're at United. I expect this from you. If I don't see this, you are dropped. You are out there. You are rewarded on form. And the last 3 years at United have been very disappointing because players have not been rewarded on form at United. Same underperforming players started week in, week out under Ollie. Players were not rewarded on form. And Ten Hag is saying you're going to be rewarded on form. And that is massive because that is what every top club should be doing. But United had favouritism FC, price tag FC, captain bias FC, all of that. One of the reasons we had such bad dressing room problems was because players literally were frustrated and turning on the manager because they would see that this player was consistently shit. They would play one game, they were good, but then a consistently shit player would play. And I'm not going to name names, but you know exactly who I'm talking about. And Ten Hag's not here to do that. And that is something that I'm very happy to hear. That is something that I'm very happy to see. I also want to get into some other things Ten Hag has said. Ten Hag has asked about winning, United, all of that. Ten Hag said Manchester United have to win from the start. He's not looking far ahead because we've got to win from the start. He said, I have a strategy. It's a process. It will take time, but in the end, we have to make sure from the outset there is a winning team. Ten Hag has a long-term plan. He has a strategy, has a process that he's going to follow. It's a long-term rebuild. But Ten Hag said his priority is short-term and making sure we are winning. That's the first thing he wants to do is win. He said, regarding the Man United players, the players we have, ERIK Ten Hag said, the players dictate the way you play, especially the players who score goals because they're extremely important for the team. You construct your team around them. He's constructing his team around Ronaldo. He wants to know just as much as us what is happening with Ronaldo. Very obvious for that. Ten Hag then publicly said, Ten Hag came out and publicly said, we are looking for a player who can play in the holding midfield position, but they have to be the right one. Ten Hag has said he wants a DM. We know Ten Hag wants a DM. Now Ten Hag has said he wants a DM. He does not rate McFred. Do not worry about McFred starting next season. We might play the first few games with McFred, but McFred are not in Ten Hag's long-term plan. I will tell you that now. Ten Hag, unless they're good, then they are, but we'll have to wait and see. Ten Hag said he would like to sign English players because there's only one criteria, and that is the quality in the combination with price. English players are quite expensive. That is Ten Hag asking, why he's only signed Dutch players. He said, I would be interested in signing English players, but they're fucking overpriced. I mean, Ten Hag knows that English players, you're getting ripped off if you sign an English player, and Ten Hag bloody knows that. He's saying they're quite expensive, you know what? I mean, look, Ten Hag's got to be good with his mouth, but that is him saying, fuck me, the English players are overpriced. Bloody hell, not going to be spending all that money on English players as well. I want to actually get one more thing up. I'm going to get one of Ten Hag's quotes up now, though. Let me show you this. This was the quote about him saying we were vulnerable on the left side of the defence, what I thought you could read. This was obviously the telling one about Maguire or not. 137 likes or 400 likes, guys. Can we go for 400 likes by the end of the live stream? That is the goal. Let's see if we can get 400 likes. It costs absolutely nothing to subscribe. So please do go and hit that like button if you haven't already. And of course, subscribe down below to Alice Talks Football if you're new. I go live every single evening on the channel, keeping you guys up to date with all the latest Manchester United news, transfer news, updates and more. So please do subscribe if you're new. But let me get back into some more news as well. But we've got some other interesting things Ten Hag has come out and said as well. So he's obviously said, we're looking for the right player, we're looking for a holding midfielder. He said he'd like to sign English players, but they're quite expensive, which is why he's looking at Dutch players outside the English league, which is something we need to know. I still think we need to expand on our scouting. I still think Man United desperately need to expand on their scouting. We're buying Dutch players and we're buying, players that played in the Dutch league and players Ten Hag knows, because Ten Hag's picking the players, but we need scouts that are going to find those players for Ten Hag. We need some scouts in, because I think our scouting's been so restricted. It's been English players, and now it's going to be Dutch players. And I think, Ragnick found all those hidden gems, and I think we really are missing out with not having Ragnick and Paul Mitchell in and sacking the scouts. We do need to advance our scouting network to finding those young French gems, those young German gems, those young Spanish gems, but also, South American gems. You look at the business Man City are doing. We need to expand our scouting network out and beyond as well. to look for those young gems, because when you've got a manager that's proven for developing young players and getting the best out of players, I think those young gems would be so good for Manchester United as well. We know those shit players, and they're still at United. What a massage are the Glazers sending to the young players that you can be shit and stay at United. You can see it that way, but hopefully that's going to change under Erik ten Hag. But I can see why you see it that way as well. So again, actually, this is a funny thing. So Ten Hag was asked about Rangnick's comments on catching up with City and Liverpool by 2 to 3 windows. And Ten Hag said, regarding Ralph Rangnick's comments, I will not make such a statement. I want to get the maximum out of the players who are here, but it belongs to Manchester that you are always looking for better competition. Ten Hag said, I will tell every Manchester United player what I expect of him. I have high expectations because you are here, you have played for Manchester United, and you got to show that on the pitch. That's what I want. Ten Hag's no-nonsense approach. But this is the funny thing that Ten Hag said, and this is actually what kind of made me laugh. Ten Hag spoke to the Glazers. Lucky man, he's got to speak to the people with the worst hairdos in football. Ten Hag speaks to the Glazers. And Erik ten Hag says, the Glazers told me they want to get success, and that is the only thing they want. That is what they expect from me to bring success. But I tell you this, Ten Hag, they want success for their pockets. The Glazers told Ten Hag they want success, but they left out the bit that they want success for their pockets, not for you. But you know, he's got to say that, hasn't he? You can't sit there and call out the Glazers, because to tell you what, Rangnick sat there and he thought, fuck the Glazers. He thought, I'll call out the Glazers, I'll go in on the Glazers. And Rangnick got shafted by the board. So Ten Hag's got to be respectful for the Glazers. He's not the Glazers puppet. Ten Hag's literally making Man United by the players he wants, not the players they want. He's not the Glazers puppet. I'll tell you that now. People calling Ten Hag the Glazers puppet, overreacting. But Ten Hag's not going to sit there like Rangnick and slag off the Glazers when he's been in the job for a few weeks. It's idiotic. It's idiotic as well. Ten Hag says he thinks that winning trophies belongs to the status of Manchester United, and that is what he will do. He's literally says, winning trophies is what I will do. I love the confidence, the winning mentality, the confidence mentality. Brilliant. He says that will be the demand of the squad and every player to win trophies. Ten Hag was asked about restoring Manchester United to their best, and Ten Hag said it's going to be a real challenge to get Manchester United restored again back to where they belong. But he said, I am highly motivated to get that done. We want to win every game, and it doesn't matter who the opponent is. That was Ten Hag talking about bringing United back to his best. And Erik ten Hag says, I think that one of the issues when you want to get results is that you need a team. It's organisation, cooperation. You also need discipline. When there is no discipline around you, you will not find it on the pitch as well. Is that or is that not? In my opinion, Ten Hag taking shots at some of the lack of discipline last season. Ten Hag said you need organisation, you need cooperation, but you also need discipline. You need discipline on and off the pitch. What has Ten Hag come in and done right away? Instilled discipline. Ten Hag's come in, he's put in strict rules. If you watched my video earlier today, I was telling you how as soon as Ten Hag's come in, he said, no, you're not doing media work. You're here to train. You're on tour to train, not do media work. You know, Ten Hag's put in strict rules, diet rules, training rules, more intense training. And Ten Hag's come and said publicly, you need discipline. It's very obvious Ten Hag wants to change that mentality of United, change the United dressing room and incorporate that much needed discipline needed United. And he's bloody gone and said it. And you know what it is? That's what he's kind of said as well. Erik ten Hag did speak about Christian Eriksen because he was actually asked, and I think this is a silly question, if Christian Eriksen was going to play deep in midfield. I think it's a silly question, but it is what it is. And Erik ten Hag said that there is potential that he could play in a lower position, but he sees Christian Eriksen as an offensive midfielder, which I'm happy Ten Hag has said. Ten Hag must have to Glazers, Mr. Pay, don't talk. I trust Ten Hag 100%. Smash a like if you like Ten Hag. Smash a like if you're happy with the addition of Ten Hag. But he's also said lots of things. But I like how Ten Hag's come out and he's made the fact that he wants discipline at United very, very clear. Like very, very clear. And I think that is because he knows there was a big lack of discipline at the club last season as well. Arnold also said the money is there, which is clearly not the case if we can't get De Jong and Antony. Yeah, you make a good point. I want to go back to what Richard Arnold said publicly to United fans. Richard Arnold told United fans they're in for De Jong. They believe they'll get De Jong. The money is there for De Jong. The money is there for the players Ten Hag wants. I've always been saying I don't think United are actually going to go and get Antony because I don't think I think he's too much because we've been told our budget is 120 million. But if Antony's who Ten Hag wants and John Merton is saying the money is there, maybe United should be going for Antony. You know, maybe we should be going. Maybe we will go for Antony. I don't think we will. I'm going to be honest. I don't think Manchester United will get Antony. I'd like us to get Antony. Ten Hag wants us to get Antony. But as Andrew said, John Murray said the money's there, so surely we can afford Antony and De Jong. Right now, the way I see it, and I'm going to be 100% honest with you guys, Malacia done, Eriksen done, Martinez done. De Jong, we've got that agreement with Barcelona. We've agreed to get De Jong with Barcelona. Barcelona have sold De Jong to us for £70 million, 85 million euros. Okay, so 70 million on De Jong, 50 million on Martinez, 120 million, and then you've got your 15 million on Malacia, 135 million, but the money you've raised for Andres Pereira out and the money you save on wages, that's 120 million net spend, which is what reportedly United have if we're including De Jong in that, because we have agreed a price with De Jong and they've actually sold De Jong to us. We just can't get De Jong here. But we're not going to talk too much about De Jong, which would say to me, if that is the case, then United can't buy anyone else until we sell more players. Although you could look at it going, we just save 40 million a year in wages. Surely we have 40 million left. The Glazers aren't going to look at it like that. They're thinking about their pockets. So there is the fear of, if we get, is it we sell to, we've got De Jong reserved and we sell to, we buy. So we want a right back, we want a striker, but it's sell to buy. Are we actually going to get anyone in? Because we are looking at a £7 million 29-year-old right back from Lens. Why are we looking at that? That doesn't sound fulfilling long term, does it? I don't know. I do worry that that could be the case. However, John Murray did say the money's there to get you Ten Hag once. And if the money's there to get you Ten Hag once, then we're talking 180 million net spenders needed, Man United. And I think, you can still get money for Wan-Bissaka. I will say this now. Zinchenko's going for 30 million. We went in for Kyle Walker-Peters and Southampton said we'd have to pay 40 million for Kyle Walker-Peters. United can get 20 million for Wan-Bissaka. If we could get 30 million for Daniel James, if we can get 11 million for Andres Pereira, we can get 20 million pounds for Wan-Bissaka. The problem is, if Man City had Wan-Bissaka, they'd get 30 million pounds for him because they've won the league and they're good at negotiating. United are crap at negotiating. I think we can get 20 million for Wan-Bissaka. And he is for sale. It's very obvious Wan-Bissaka's not in the plan. He is for sale, okay? I also think there's other players at United that we can get a bit of money for. I think we can get 20 million for Wan-Bissaka. I think we can get 10 million for Telles. Probably, I'm going to say 8 million for Telles. I think we can get 30 million for Wan-Bissaka and Telles. I think Jones and Tuanzebe could get us another 10 million. That's 40 million. I think, there's other players that we could potentially sell. Brandon Williams, we could easily get 10 million for. I still think we could make 50 million an ounce. But what does that cover? It's a worrying question. Guys, by the way, we're 44 subscribers away from 42k. So please do make sure you click that subscribe button if you're new. I'm on the road to 42,000 subscribers and I'm actually 42 away from 42k and it costs nothing to subscribe. So if you are new and you want to tune into daily Manchester United live streams, transfer updates and more, make sure you subscribe to Alice Talks Football. If you want to stay up to date on all the latest Manchester United news, transfer news and more. And of course, hit that like button. Can we hit that like target of 400 likes before I end the live stream? It'd be amazing if we can. So please do get all over that like button as well, people as well. But lots and lots to talk about as well. It's very hot in England. I'm absolutely sweating right now. I won't lie to you. I'm sweating right now. If De Jong really had desire or passion to be here, he would be here, not delaying for money. There's money and there's 17 million pounds and you see Messi and Neymar not getting their money. I think I'd do the same. But I think De Jong will come, but I think he wants his best chances of getting his money. And also you've got to remember De Jong's agent is influencing this. This is De Jong's agent money as well. So, money is there. Doesn't mean Antony's worth 70 million. Good point. Didn't think of that. I don't think Antony's worth 70 million. I think Rafinha and Sterling are better than Antony. I generally wouldn't pay more than 50 million on Antony. If United turn down Antony because he's 70 million, I'm not going to be mad because he's not worth that. I like him. Ten Hag wants him, so maybe you have to go and break the bank for Antony. But if United turn Antony down because, they don't think he's worth 70 million, I don't blame them because in the past we're spending 80 million on fucking Maguire. Stupid. I mean, Ajax have every right to demand 50 million for Martinez and 70 million for Antony. We're the club that spent 80 million on Maguire. We're the club that turned down Haaland and got Agallo, and that is United for you, isn't it? New Ragnick was sat when the management of abroad for important meetings and Ragnick wasn't there. I knew Ragnick was going as soon as he basically called out the fucking Glazers. I think we all did as well. How is 120 million a suitable budget for the first win? No, you spot on, Andrew. You spot on. It's not good enough for a team like United. Oli got 150. Van Gaal got 150. I think Mourinho got 160. I think 180. I think in this market 180, especially considering the season we had. I think 180. I think I'd like 200, but it's United. Got to gain some kind of realistic. I think 180. Dumfries around 20 million would be a quality signing. Absolutely. Smash that like button if you want Dumfries. I would really like to see Denzel Dumfries or Dumfries at United as well. Come on, Alice, be sensible. We are lumbered with Mook, Tom, and Maguire. If Ten Hag was to drop these two imbeciles, the hierarchy will stick a pole up his arse. Wouldn't surprise me, but I see where you're coming from as well. If we could sign Anthony, Ivan, Toney, and right back in Sangare, then it could be a quadruple winners this season with Jong, of course. Never going to happen, mate. I like the ambition. I don't think we'd even win the quadruple, but I think we'd look like a good side if we did. But unfortunately, it's Manchester United. It's never going to happen. We have 327 likes. Let's go for 400 likes, people. As Daniel said, like and share. Who did West Ham sign? Daniel Broja? Is he a Chelsea player? I don't know much about him, but I'd probably take the reliance of Antonio. So I think that would be a good signing as well. United have to have thrown the 130 million budget limit around so clubs know United wouldn't be overpaying the odds. That's a good point. Maybe the budget, you know what? Going back to what we're talking about, back to what Andrew had said, going back to what we're saying, United have stated publicly, the budget is obviously £120 million, but John Murter is saying the money's there. Remember that window where Arsenal was saying they had a 60 million budget and then they went and spent 150 million and spent 72 on Nicolas Pepe? Maybe United want clubs to think their budget is 120 million, so we don't get the piss taken out of us. When our budget really, it could secretly be 200 million. Again, I believe it when I see it. It's Manchester United, but I do believe that's a solid point. We can go out and say publicly the budget's 120 million because that's what we want people to think. That's what we want people to believe. But maybe deep down, maybe secretly, that budget you're looking at maybe 500 million. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. But maybe we're looking at 200 million. I just read something and it said 500 in it as I was reading it. So that's why 500 million is blurred out my mouth. That is not the case, but maybe it is 200 million. Again, the Glazers. I don't believe it's 200 million. I think it's probably around 150 million, or maybe what underplaying is 130 because I'm thinking about what Ollie got, what Mourinho got, what Moyes, well, not what Moyes got. Moyes got fuck all. What Van Gaal got. But yeah, maybe it's a little bit more than what Manchester United is saying and claiming. Sal Wan-Bissaka, Tellers, Tuanzebe, Captain Maguire, McTominay, Phil Jones. I wish we could, but we won't sell all of them. 64 likes for 400 likes. Can we hit that 400 like target? We got 500 people watching. Let's go for 400 likes. We could have signed Anthony for 50 million 2 months ago. We literally could have got Anthony and Martinez for 80 million combined 2 months ago. The price is our board's fault. You're absolutely spot on. Imagine that, 80 million on Anthony and fucking Martinez. Then you got 70 million on Jong. Bish, bash, freaking bosh. That's your 130 million. Malacia Pereira covers that. Still 130 million net spend. And 20 million on Denzel Dumfries. 150 million net spend. But United are fucking idiots. Absolute idiots as well. If we made 50 mil off selling Tellez, Jones, Tuanzebe, Williams, and Bissaka for Anthony, that would be 12 players out, 5 in. But I think that's what you need because I think Ollie kept around a lot of players. Ollie kept around a lot of deadwood. And we were actually a little bit too, the squad was actually a little bit too thick last season, too dense. Keeping around players like Lingard, who we knew we were never going to play. Signing Hakimi will be mind-blowing. Manchester United have been linked to signing Hakimi, but I doubt that's going to happen. But I'd absolutely love it. Dumfries would be a great signing for you guys. Plus West Ham and advanced talks of Broja. Yeah, I feel like I don't know much about him, but I think that could be a good signing as well. Our budget is limited. Look at our net spend the last 5 years. Never gone over 140 for sales. It's the Glazers. Spot on as well. Hopefully, Donny will start for you guys. Smash your like if you want to see Donny to start. I obviously, guys, I've got to say this. I'm live tomorrow at 11 a.m. 11 a.m. UK live stream tomorrow, doing a watch along. So what I will say is I've got a live watch along tomorrow. Blah 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 blah. United versus who are we playing? Crystal Palace. I'm playing Crystal Palace live watch along tomorrow. So what I will do is I'll do a watch along, I'll do a match reaction, then I'll do a live stream tomorrow evening. So do subscribe for that because if you want to, I'm hoping for that game tomorrow against Palace that we actually see maybe Donny and Fred in the pivot. Look, I don't want to see Fred play every game in the pivot. I believe they probably will because with De Jong being late, I believe we're going to go into the season with Fred that starting pairing in the pivot, which is not what I want to see. So I believe that we will see Fred start tomorrow morning, but I'd like to see Sedan Iqbal or Donny thrown in there and Erik Ten Hag change it up maybe. The fact that he said he wants a DM, he obviously doesn't rate Fred too highly, so I would like to see him change it up. But guys, we are 42 subscribers away from 42k. So if you're watching right now and you're not subscribed, please do subscribe. Absolutely free to subscribe. And as I said, I will be live tomorrow doing a watch along followed by a match reaction to those games as well. Hope to see Donny in the pivot. I think we all want to see Donny in the pivot. I think every single United fan just wants to see Donny in the pivot as well. Marseille have made an improved bid, so maybe they're using United's names to get Marseille to improve their bid as well. DeMarco left back from Inter, good player. Just signed the left back, would be no point in it. Would be absolutely no point in it as well. Has Eriksen flown to Australia? I don't think so. I'd be surprised if he did. I think they'll join up with us in Norway. I'd like to see Sedanik will play 100%. Probably buying a 29-year-old right back because we were expecting to buy Timber next transfer window. Maybe. I don't know with that right back story. United getting used, so another club buy him because everyone knows United are in for a right back. So they just go, oh, I'm trying to sell a right back. United are in for one, even though it makes no sense. Let's stick United to this player and see if we can get more money. I don't know. I generally don't know if we're in for him or not. It's not a deal that makes sense when I look at it, if I'm going to be honest. But I mean, does anything United do make sense these days? Not much of it. So you can look at it in multiple ways as well. But I cannot wait for tomorrow's live stream, to be fair. I'm super excited to play Crystal Palace, playing Prem opposition. I think it will be a good game. I mean, considering how good we've been in the first two preseason games, I am actually quite strongly looking forward to the next preseason game as well. I don't know how you guys are feeling about the preseason games, but obviously I am super excited. I'm really enjoying watching United preseason. It's obviously going really well. Klaus, Dumfries, Mukalele, Hakimi all linked to us today. Obvious room for a right back. Hakimi would be my first choice, followed by Dumfries. But there's some decent options on there. Not too familiar with Mukalele, but obviously I know who he is. He's at RB Leipzig. Whenever we're linked to an RB Leipzig player, though, my feeling is this like, okay, we're linked to him, but actually, let's be honest, United this, United that, just linked to them because we're Man United, really. That doesn't make sense as well. I think it's the heat. The heat is like, hair is not making sense, but all the preseason games have been good. I think we might see them involved. I think they will start one of the games before the season starts, and I would 100% like to see them involved, 100%. But guys, I think I'm going to wrap up the live stream here. I have been live for an hour. I will be back tomorrow for a Manchester United watch along, so make sure you're subscribed for that. Make sure you smash the like button. Make sure you share the video as well. We're talking about, obviously, what Ten Hag said in his interviews regarding Maguire and all of that. Let me know your thoughts down below as well. Share, like, subscribe. I am back tomorrow morning, then a video, and then I'll be back tomorrow evening. So there could be 3 videos out tomorrow, 2 live streams, 1 video. So do subscribe for that if you're new. Hopefully we will hit 42,000 subscribers tomorrow. Only 40 subscribers away from 42k. So close to that target. So big up everybody that tuned into the live stream. Big up everybody in the chat. Come on, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Really good live stream this, and I will see you next time.